Hey, Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here. And you probably saw that recent story where Nampa Police Department has come out with this crime map. So now you can see in almost real time the crime that's going on, in a general sense in Nampa. And a friend of mine, let me give a hat tip to Ann, thank you. She was kind of worried about, oh my gosh, it looks like, Nampa's going to hell, crime is off the hook. But is that really the case? Let's take a look.
Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here, your expert real estate resource by your side when it's time to sell your home, buy a home, or relocate to the Boise, Idaho area. You'll find the Treasure Valley Dave team office centrally located right here in beautiful Nampa, Idaho. Now, back to the video. Hey, Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here. Recently, the Nampa Police Department unveiled their crime map so citizens can keep an eye on what's going on in crime in their town, as reported by Channel 7 TV News. So what were your thoughts when you saw this story? Is crime running rampant here in Nampa? Is Nampa going to the dogs? Well, actually, all these dots on this map, you need to look at it in context. So I have a little bit of experience with this. We had a very similar system when I was with PD back in California. And let me go through some of my thoughts on this. So this is actually a good thing. That the police department puts out this map is a good thing, and the stuff that we're seeing on this map is actually a good thing too. So let's look at the red dots. So those are the violent crimes. Well, there's not that many on there. And violent crimes can be anything where a weapon was used, or there's fear or force was used. So that would be a violent crime. So let's see, did I have an example here? So it could be something like a kid's shoplifting and he gets accosted by store security, and then the kid starts punching back. And maybe when he's punching, he has a Snickers bar or something that he's smacking the security guy with. Violent crime right there. So the orange dots, those are property crimes. And so what's property crimes? Those are someone's outdoor checking, walking through a neighborhood at night, seeing if there's any cars unlocked. It could also be, someone's taking your gnome out of your garden at the front yard or something like that. Could be shoplifting. So those are all thefts. Could be stolen vehicle too. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything here. So one of the biggest deterrents to crimes like these are to lock your doors. How many of you have neighbors that go out there and start up their truck every single freaking morning and let it just idle, and no one's around? Well, there's a prime example of a car that's ready to be stolen. Also, maybe you leave the garage door open and while you're gone all day. So those are just kind of like inviting things. Not to say that it's your fault at all. It's just that a good way for preventing these kind of thefts is just to lock your doors. Piece of cake. So the next thing is the purple dots. And these are disorders, disturbances. So this could be someone that's walking around after the bars are closed and they're drunk, but they're not driving. So that's a good thing. It could be a yelling match between some people. It also could be loud music. Maybe your neighbor's in his garage doing stuff with the big thumpy bass cranked all the way up. That could be a purple dot. Also, barking dogs. Again, that could be a disturbance. And when I went to the Nampa Police Citizens Academy, they said at that time that the number one call for service in Nampa was barking dogs. So maybe a lot of those purple dots are actually barking dog calls. And then fourth is 911 or other. Well, that's kind of broad. That's the blue dots. So what could a 911 call be? Well, it could be a misdial. It could be someone who doesn't know the police department's business line, their non-emergency line. So they just call 911 because that's the only number they know. But also it could be a medical emergency of some sort. Maybe somebody fell down and they need someone to come out and get them back up. Could be any number of things like that. Could be a car wreck. So that would certainly be, if you're right there at a car wreck, you don't know if someone's hurt or not, what are you going to do? You're going to call 911. And then other could be just any other number of things. Maybe an officer's out and he's doing a field interview with somebody and he wants it noted in the dispatch records. So there's a lot of these dots on there, but don't let them scare you. Keep it in context for what this really means. And what does this really mean? This means that your Nampa Police Department is really engaged. They're out there in the community. And so what is this good for? Well, if you get some of those, kids that might want to do things like graffiti or whatever other kind of nefarious things, they see cops around all the time. Maybe they're not going to do that. And apparently, they must see cops around all the time, or we just don't have those kind of kids here because we don't have that graffiti problem that we certainly did back in California. So what's a perspective on this? So I have several friends that work in the Nampa PD. This one, he came up from California. He had this to say. So my experience working in the Treasure Valley is that it is a very safe place to live and raise a family. And that is an objective truth. When you look at all the main cities in the valley, Boise, Garden City, Meridian, Eagle, Star, Cuna, Middleton, Nampa, Caldwell, they all have a crime rate that's lower than the national average, which says a lot. Now, of course, there is no crime-free city, but personally me, living in any city that has a crime rate lower than the national average is a priority for me and should be the standard of what to look for when relocating to a new place. The reasons for the lower crime rate are many, but one of the many reasons for me when comparing areas like California is the very low homeless population in Idaho, ranked the 14th lowest homeless population in the country. Much of the high homeless population areas in California had high rates of violent crime, high drug use, and high amounts of property theft. Placement into shelters here are very encouraged, and tent cities do not exist here. Probably a third of the calls for service I respond to in California were connected to homelessness. As far as the attitudes towards law enforcement, the community here is very supportive. Community members routinely go out of their way to say hello and do what they can to partner with the police to solve community quality of life issues. Overall, a great place to live and raise a family.
So now do you have a little bit better understanding of what Nampa's like, at least as far as crime goes? I think you probably do. And if you want to know what it's really like to live here, check out some of our other videos. Well, as always, it's Treasure Valley Dave. Looking forward to helping you get home.
Treasure Valley Dave here. Thank you for checking out this great video. Can I ask you, what problem do you have that I can help you with? Do you need to sell a home, buy a home? Are you a first-time home buyer? Maybe looking to relocate to the beautiful Treasure Valley from some other state? The Treasure Valley Dave team is your expert by your side here to help you solve your real estate problem. You can contact us through our website or give us a call or text at 208-860-2004. Now go ahead and subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos. For more education and entertainment, check out this great video next or binge on this playlist.